strictly. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Ooh, welcome to another exciting week here at Against the Ropes. Myself, Gio Garcia. I'm with Christian Mosqueda and Christian Rodriguez. What's up, y'all?
You.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Man, a lot of things going on in the world of boxing, guys. It's funny because just last week we were like, what are we going to cover next week? And we're like, man, boxing will give us something. Something's going to happen. We don't know yet, but we're going to get something. And I think we were only talking about Benavidez Crawford. We're like, we're going to cover like the post-fight. But, man.
It's funny because like I had like a number of topics, right? What to talk about this podcast, but usually like the news comes out like a day before our podcast, or like just even like hours away, like even with the Pacquiao news, like at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So yeah, thankfully we're gonna break it down right now.
So the big news, Chris.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Let's get in the zone, yo.
Yeah,
Let's get in the zone.
Basically, yeah, get in the zone.
And it's not AutoZone.
We were talking about this, Danza. So we were basically talking about this like the past 2 or 3 weeks now about understanding that HBO is not going to be able to broadcast any more fights of 2019 and whether or not where Triple G is going to go, and more specifically speaking, where Canelo is going to go. Basically, the two main popular fighters in boxing right now. So we were wondering,
where's Canelo going to go?
Where's Canelo going to go, right? Yeah. And I was thinking about, at the last podcast, I say I think Triple G should wait. Let Canelo decide what network he decides, because he already has a date set, right? Yeah. Which is December 15th. So Triple G listened. And now what ended up happening, I think the news broke out, I think yesterday, right? It was yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So Canelo signs a 5-year, 11th deal worth minimum of 365. So that's the key word right there, minimum. 365 million. So it can actually like grow.
Yeah.
So if to put it in
that's just a guarantee.
Yeah,
that's it. Like he can get more money based off ticket sales, man, all kinds of like sponsorship, anything, like, man.
And I was actually looking at the fight potential, right? Because the contract expires until 2023 because it's 11 fights. So that means that he fights one right in December.
Yeah.
And the next 4 years, he's fighting twice.
Twice.
So that's May, September. And the contract runs out until he's what? 33 years old.
Yeah.
And if we look at Floyd Mayweather, right, like when he was making all those deals, it's basically like when he's like 30, 35-ish. And right now, Canelo is at what? He's 28 years old?
Yeah, he's in his prime.
So he's like 2 years ahead of Floyd Mayweather right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's way ahead of Mayweather. I'll mention it later on. We'll have a lot of time to talk about it, but yeah, he's way ahead of Mayweather.
Yeah, he's technically speaking right now, if you look at the numbers, he's already going to be ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking about Mayweather, I mean, there's a reason why he was a little salty on Instagram, insulting. You guys saw it? Him insulting Oscar De La Hoya?
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen it, he basically called Canelo a cheater about the whole PED scandal, because there were rumors about that rematch happening. And then he also went at Oscar. He put him in his drag costume. He called him a girl. He said, 11 years ago, I beat this girl, Golden Girl. And he was getting killed in the comments.
Yeah, no,
they're like, dude, why are you always fighting women? Like, why are you always talking about fighting girls?
Yeah, Mayweather was getting,
we know about his controversies.
Getting insulted left and right. And it just sounds like sour apples, guys. I mean, Mayweather's a great fighter, but, man, at the end of the day, you can't be, like, talking shit about the face of boxing, especially when another boxer is doing so well and so well for the sport. So, to me, it just sounds like sour apples. And
it is sour apples because we remember, and I think we were all in agreement, we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Back when Triple G and Canelo were going to fight this September, that we woke up to the news of Floyd Mayweather being somewhere in Asia.
In Tokyo, yeah.
Right? And talking about a potential fight of Manny Pacquiao on the horizon, like sometime later on during the year. Come on.
Yeah, this is
the biggest event going on in boxing.
You're trying
to take the limelight, right? Just like the previous year,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
He fought Conor McGregor like what?
Around the same time.
3 weeks before Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were concerned that if that fight would not be good and that the result wouldn't be like courteous to the fans,
Mm-hmm.
that would draw pay-per-view numbers low for Triple G and Canelo during
Yeah.
the first fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because coming into today's talk show, like I was already ready to go in on Mayweather, right? And then that just happened today, the whole Instagram post. The thing is, all right, at what age was Mayweather's first pay-per-view? Do you guys know?
It must have been late 20s. I mean, it had to be
All right.
against De La Hoya, right?
So his first pay-per-view was against Arturo Gatti.
Oh, Gaddy.
That was in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
He was 27 years old.
Oh, man.
28, 27, something like
Around
that.
there,
Canelo's 28 now.
yeah. His first pay-per-view was when he was like 22.
Canelo, yeah, I believe he was 23, and it was against Floyd
Mhm,
Mayweather.
mhm.
That was like one of the highest, second highest selling pay-per-view
Mhm.
around there, something like that. Floyd was 28 years old, right? He couldn't sell over 400,000 pay-per-views until he fought De La Hoya. I think that was his third or fourth pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, that's where I have a circle. That's where he's at 30 years old and he's about to make all the money he
Yeah.
can afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said like, oh, Canelo's, if you look technically speaking, he's ahead of Floyd Mayweather by 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But later on, it's going to be ahead after
Oh,
33.
way ahead.
And
Yeah.
just fast forward, Mayweather sold 400,000 pay-per-views against Berto. Right, that was his second to last fight.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo, his last 3 pay-per-views have sold over 1 million. That was against Julio Cesar Chavez, sold 1 million. And then the 2 against Triple G, the first one sold 1.3 million. The second one sold about 1.1 million. Right? And now he signs this 365 million deal, 11 fights, 5 years with DAZN at 28 years old.
Yeah, so let's say he fights twice. That's a minimum. You average it out. He's going to get about 33 million.
Yeah,
Per
per
fight?
fight.
Yeah, he's
getting
gonna
about
fight
73 a year.
2 fights
Yeah.
per year. So this is the only time you're going to see him fight in December.
Yeah.
That's why it allows 11.
Mm-hmm. And what's great about this fight is that the zone they're offering this one for free. So you just have to download the app. This one's gonna be like free for.
What do you mean?
So it's like you don't have to pay the $9.99 for this
what?
fight
For this fight?
for the zone.
Doesn't that come with a free trial though?
Well,
Same thing,
well, this
right?
one is not gonna. This one's gonna be free for new subscribers. After for the next fight that he
I'm
fights.
like, wait, what's going to be
Yeah.
free for me? No, I'm already
Yeah.
subscribed,
You're already
paying for it already.
So they'll start paying the $9.99. The following.
Yeah, but just to put
Yeah.
this into perspective, Canelo's going to be at the top of that Forbes list for the highest paid
Mhm.
athlete for at least the next 5 years, because he's easily going to make over 100 million every year.
Yeah.
For the next 5 years with this deal.
So Dan Rafael was talking about how this deal is probably his richest athlete contract in sports history, eclipsing 13 years, 325 agreement with Stanton.
Yeah,
From
that's
New York
the
Yankees.
baseball player.
That's-
And those baseball players get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's because they're able to extend the contracts like 10
Mm-hmm.
or in this case 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 years compared to 13,
13
years.
years?
They
Man.
play like 300 games in a year.
Yeah, well they play over 160 plus. But
yeah.
the thing is, what does this say about boxing in general? If you're football, sports, other besides boxing, right? Basketball, football, baseball.
Mm.
Like, how do you take that into effect? You see this man get paid 365, the minimum, for 5 years. We talk about sometimes how you don't want your child to be in this type of sport because it's
Yeah.
brutal,
Yeah.
right? But look at the upside on this, right? Like with Canelo, like this is
Yeah, and that's why they
huge.
say that there hasn't been a lot of heavyweights from the USA anymore, because all the big athletes are playing basketball
Yeah.
and football, right?
Mhm.
right. Yeah, so this has the potential of. When I heard this news, I mean, I was still thinking about HBO in itself. This news would have not happened had HBO gone dead.
Yeah, because they're the zone like pretty much.
In fact, you know what's interesting? I was actually reading this. for instance, that HBO had the option to match it,
And they decided not to.
and they actually made an offer to Canelo to have a pay-per-view fight in December.
Yeah.
And HBO elected. So right here it says HBO had the right of the first negotiation and the last look provision for Alvarez's fight with England's Fielding, and the network made an offer for an HBO pay-per-view event, but it elected not to match the one made by DAZN. So I mean that leaves Triple G now, right? Choosing like what should he choose, right?
Yeah.
Because
And
go
it's interesting because just today I just ran into a YouTube clip of Eddie Hearn, right? They were asking him about what he thought about the deal, and he just said he was happy about it, but he also mentioned that he mentioned Mikey Garcia, and he was like, you know, all these guys who are not sure what network they should fight for,
they should tell you
like
where to go.
now. They should say like, all right, I quote, let's see, they should just take off their shirt, leave their swimming trunks on, and just dive straight into the DAZN pool. That's what he said.
and if you look at
and that's interesting because Canelo is like the face of boxing right now. So if you're like a younger guy and you're not sure about what network to fight on, you know, probably like ESPN would be on the top of your list, Showtime, because those are established networks, right? The Zone is pretty new. But with these news right here, man, that's like the best advertising you could get for the Zone.
Yeah, that changes everything because just having Canelo, like, how many people are gonna just subscribe and, you know, just to see Canelo? You know, you're used to getting these pay-per-views for 85, 75, whatever the amount. And if someone offers you to see Canelo for $9.99 monthly subscription, you're gonna be like taking it.
Yeah.
And so that's just gonna put like more money into the Zone. You know, their budget. They're gonna be able to offer their fighters more money, and that's security right there.
And that's the thing regarding this deal right here. I was talking about how, for instance, in the last 2 weeks, I was talking about Al Heyman in general regarding the whole how ESPN came along with Golden Boy Promotions, and then Top Rank has a deal with them. And now all of a sudden you have Al Heyman towards the end making these deals with Showtime and Fox Sports, right? It looked like he just made the last move.
Yeah.
And everything was just set in stone, right?
Yeah.
In boxing, right? And then everybody gave a hard time on Eddie Hearn about this company called DAZN. And I've been like talking about DAZN for a while.
Remember the first time we saw DAZN, it was like a Tyson Fury like little comeback fight, or he was getting back into it.
Yeah.
And we're like, what is this DAZN? He sent us a link. We're like, okay, let's check it out, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when Anthony Joshua fight Pobetkin, I downloaded the app. Really impressed.
Yeah.
And I was like talking about it, making fun of it, just in a light way, because it's impressive. Like that type of app showing the live status of the feed, it was streaming really good. I had no glitches or anything like that. So it has a lot of potential. And keep in mind, I just said Anthony Joshua. So before even this signing, they already had Anthony Joshua, one of the best heavyweights and one of the well-known boxers, like in general. Like if you were to have an EA Sports Fight Night cover, you know how back then FIFA used to have like 3 athletes? For sure you put Anthony Joshua, Canelo, and probably Lomachenko or Triple G on the side, right?
Yeah, those two are arguably like the only pay-per-view.
Yeah, and it's interesting because before, you know, I hate, like, I know you guys rate like Errol Spence and Crawford like so highly, right? But it was interesting because even before this deal, I was thinking like the biggest names in boxing are Canelo, Anthony Joshua, Triple G, and Lomachenko, and everybody else is just kind of like not really there.
Like from a marketable standpoint, yeah.
Yeah, because nobody else is putting up numbers like that. But with this, I find it disrespectful now. People put Crawford and Errol Spence in the same, like even in the same sentence as Canelo. And I know you guys don't like Canelo, and you guys are really big on those 2 names that I said. But even Crawford's last fight, who did he fight?
Benavides.
Who has Benavides ever fought before?
Yeah, not a lot of people.
And you, Christian, Last week when I asked you if you gave Canelo credit for moving up in weight, what'd you say?
No.
Nope. Why?
Because there's a boxer at 168, Gilberto Ramirez.
So you're not happy that he was fighting a no-name, basically, right?
He's more established,
Yeah.
and that would have probably sold
So who did Crawford fight?
regarding Benavidez.
It's
Somebody.
a no-name, right?
He's at the welterweight.
You know, it was interesting because
he's at the welterweight.
Yeah.
He can't make. First of all, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm
I
not sure.
wasn't finished.
Well, you brought this in yourself, dude. So this past week,
I know what you're gonna say. It's not his fault. He can't fight these guys.
but
go ahead.
But I'm not talking about
Go ahead.
Terrence Crawford. So this past week, Bob Arum has been open. In fact, I'm one of you guys sent an article talking about Bob Arum talking about whether or not Al Heyman is a ghost.
That was me.
Like that to me says a lot. That's like some urban legend. Like that's legendary.
To me,
status.
that like they just like communicate or work out deals through
Yeah.
phones, and sometimes it's like he's only seen him once every 4 years. You're like,
right.
you guys are the people that should at least be seeing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that because it sounds like Bob Arum is under the ropes right now. He's run out of opponents. And I mentioned to you last week that Al Heyman has all the welterweights besides Terrence Crawford. He has Pacquiao, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Floyd Mayweather, Errol Spence.
Now with Pacquiao, yeah, he's got all of them.
He has him cornered right now. Under the ropes, Bob Arum. And he knows, like I mentioned to you, in like the last quote when I mentioned regarding Al Heyman about Cameron Duncan, do your job in the boxing ring because HBO is going to be there to last because we don't know what's going to happen with Al Heyman. So that's why Bob Arum had no other option, right? But keep in mind, like, yes, Canelo went up to 168, but who knows? Maybe that was part of the deal why he ended up going with Danza.
Oh yeah, because I mean he's fighting a British fighter,
And Eddie Hearn is with Rocky Phil, and he's part of his stable.
I mean,
So what about Crawford?
Regarding what?
Why is he fighting no name still and getting so much credit for it?
Nobody's giving. I have
I don't think he's
not.
getting too much credit for Benavidez.
I'm giving credit to Terrence Crawford for what he did at 140.
And his options are.
Where do you
limited
rate
at
him
147.
pound for pound? Did you have him ahead of Canelo?
Yeah,
Exactly. That's why.
you have to
Because
understand.
that shit makes no sense at all whatsoever.
I think Chris is
I can name so many Hall of Famers that Canelo has fought.
Dude,
I can't even name 5 Terrence Crawford opponents right now. I can't even name 5.
I'm talking about undisputed at 140, claiming your stuff at 135, then at 140. And can you give me some time at 147? Because the guy hasn't even been at 147.
Yeah, that's why don't put him at top welterweights because he's not there yet.
I think he's saying pound for pound, not welterweight.
Exactly. I'm not saying
He's not a welterweight.
he just got into welterweight right now. So you have to like give him a chance, let him, you know.
So why is he ahead of Canelo? I don't understand.
Based on what he did at 140. I think
basically
that's
he did it
what
at 140.
Who did he fight at 140?
he fought all the titleists.
Yeah, he fought whoever was there. Who? Postol,
Who else?
Gamboa at 135.
Oh my.
It's just it's like I don't think you really understand this, dude. Being undisputed is hard.
Yeah.
Like it's hard in general.
Especially with all these like entities, not letting.
Who do you fight though to become undisputed?
Whoever was there, and it wasn't his
You
fault.
can't even name them.
Well, Danny Garcia was there. Mikey Garcia was there. And even Bob Arum wanted Mikey Garcia to be at 140.
He's good though.
And and Mikey Garcia was fighting to get all that contract. And then Mikey Garcia was saying, "Oh, you know what? I could get out of this contract. You sign me a one fight deal against Terrence Crawford, and that's it. We could call it off and shake it off. I could just go to my own other promoter." So there was fighters, but fighters weren't down to fight Terrence Crawford at that time. So it's like you got to understand the boxing politics when it comes to just like that's the thing about boxing. You can't talk about boxing just like by watching like the Lakers or watching the Dodgers, just like watching it because there is no politics on the side in boxing. Like there's so many strings attached. That's why all these boxing.
Yeah, in other sports you gotta face everybody, right?
Yeah,
And
there's
boxing
because
you
there's
kind of
rules
get a choice
and regulations.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much politics
Makes it difficult
behind it. It's just like hard.
But look, I brought that up because I saw a random comment on Facebook. The guy said, keep the same energy toward Bud when he fights the same type of fighters that Canelo is about to fight next.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So,
Bud Crawford's been fighting nobodies, and you're still ranking him over Canelo. I don't understand.
I'm once again, I have to repeat myself.
That just makes no sense. And that's why I'm glad this deal happened. Because the $365 million, it puts everything in perspective, dude.
Well,
nobody in boxing is gonna make that type of money.
First of all, you gotta understand.
Because this guy's in another planet, dude.
Yeah, you gotta understand.
These other guys are mini-me's compared to him.
Well, of course. And it always helps when Canelo has a country behind his back. Same thing, it always helps when Miguel Cotto has a country behind his back. Even Juan Manuel Marquez, he has a country behind his back, right?
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather didn't have that. Because who has America behind their back? The Lakers, the Yankees, all these other sports teams. Nobody wants, and nobody cares about boxing in
still
general.
making money, though.
He's still making money. But I'm saying how Floyd Mayweather markets himself, it hurts his reputation, you know?
But Terrence Crawford fights every fight in Omaha.
That's his hometown.
Come on, man.
That's his hometown. Like,
come on, man.
He barely branched out in his first fight at welterweight in Las Vegas. And that was a good idea because that was in Las Vegas. And he won the belt right there.
Yeah, the thing is that at 140, there's always boxing politics that keeps you from fighting, fighters because of, the different entities. And he's really seeing that problem at 147 where, Showtime, Alhaim, they have all the welterweights. I'm sure if he was with them, he'd be fighting them. I'm pretty sure, he would. But it's because he's with Top Rank that he can't.
But he hasn't.
But
you keep saying what ifs. Like
no. But
these are all assumptions. He hasn't fought anybody.
You have to understand, it's coming already. That's the thing.
All right, then don't rate him so high yet.
I'm already rating him that high. Just like when I see a boxer like has potential,
that
like
shit makes no sense.
He's
just like Errol Spence too. He's fought nobody.
Let me ask you this question: do you have any respect for Terrence Crawford to be undisputed championship at 140?
Yeah. But I don't even know who he beat to earn those titles.
Adrian Broner was there. Mikey Garcia was there.
Win over
Danny Garcia was there. There was names in there. Postola was there.
He never fought any of them, though.
Because what options...
So why do you keep saying all these names if he didn't fight anybody?
Because he beat everybody, dude.
He didn't beat those guys. He didn't beat Danny Garcia.
He beat everybody that was there at the time.
Available. Yeah.
Canelo's win against Triple G is worth more than all those titles. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah.
So why are you still rating him over Canelo? That makes no sense. Terrence Crawford has never fought a guy of Mayweather's caliber, Cotto's caliber, Lara's caliber, Austin caliber. Why is he even near Canelo? I don't understand.
He's there.
You can't even put him on the same sentence, dude.
He's there.
And this deal puts everything into perspective, dude.
Yeah, it always helps.
That just puts Canelo on a planet of his own, dude.
Look,
don't even put him on any pound for pound list anymore, dude. He's on the list of his own.
Errol Spence is not gonna get a deal like this.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford is not gonna get a deal like this.
Because they're never gonna.
We talked about the fight.
Any of the Charlos are not gonna get a deal like this.
Because they're never gonna beat the names that Canelo beat.
Adrian Broner is not gonna get a deal like this.
That's all I'm saying.
You want me to tell you why? Because
they're not that good.
Because they're all black. They don't have a country.
Mayweather's black.
I know, but
that shit don't matter.
You gotta.
So the only thing I can.
You have to understand. Yeah,
is Chocolatito a big name?
I'm saying Mayweather.
He has a country behind him. That shit does not matter.
Mayweather, he put this on himself to be at this stage for all the things that he did regarding the domestic violence, being in prison for other stuff, all the chaos that he brought outside the ring. Like I told you, what happens inside the ring for me, it's nothing. The hard work comes outside the ring. Promoting yourself as an African-American athlete and boxing in general is hard to do.
Yeah.
Just as Deontay Wilder. He's one of the top heavyweights right now.
Yeah, but he hasn't beaten anybody either.
Or Ortiz.
See, to me, that's how you make your name in boxing. You got to beat somebody.
And you know how you try
all these guys you named, they haven't beat anybody.
And Deontay Wilder was talking about, you have to pressure Anthony Joshua to fight me. Like, it's up to the fans if they want the fight to happen. The peer pressure when it comes to colliding heads in the boxing ring comes down to the fans when they get tired. Right?
Yeah. To me, what makes Mayweather, he beat everybody, but he also uses that hate factor, like where people pay to see him lose. It's like an anti-country type, where they just want to see him lose.
He beat names.
He beat names.
Terrence Crawford has no names under his belt.
Yeah, back to the African Americans. Yeah, a lot of them are very soft spoken, and I mean, you can say Errol Spence, Crawford have beat guys, but then they don't say anything afterwards. You need that entertainment factor that Mayweather brings.
And we'll talk about somebody later on in general.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm trying to set you up, but I'm basically I'm setting myself up for proving my point.
Yeah. For Canelo, like, he doesn't have to talk too much shit. He does have the backing of a country.
Yeah,
and he does beat
it's the dream
everybody.
team, Golden Boy and Canelo, man.
Everybody that
put some respect on their name.
Put in front of him.
Well, I mean,
see, you call him Canelo the paper champion.
I used to.
You had respect for Canelo for 1 week.
Let me tell you
and
something.
even with this deal, you can't say shit about him. I mean, and you're still gonna find something bad to say about him.
I'm not gonna have respect.
I don't understand.
For Golden Boy for many reasons, right? One of the reasons they're gonna have my respect until they're able to promote an African American boxer.
Hey.
All right, unless it's not somebody from South America, Central America, I get it, because that's easy way to make promotions for boxers. Until then, right? He talks about. I remember a couple years ago, Oscar was saying, "Oh, you know, Anthony Joshua should come. Like, I can make him a big star. This and that." Really? So what happened when you had Deontay Wilder?
True.
You let him go because you were falling asleep.
Well, he's not a star.
He had him under his table.
Mm-hmm.
And what ended up happening? He was suing him. Not suing Deontay Wilder. He was suing Al Heyman for him flying off under the radar. So that's one way.
Honestly, I would have let him go too, because at the time, heavyweight division was in a drought.
Yeah.
But
there was no money there.
Let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure he's regretting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We haven't seen anything yet.
Wait, who?
This is Wilder's second pretty big fight.
Yeah, but I'm
and if he doesn't win this fight, it's pretty much over for him, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see about that. But I'm just saying, that's where I'm. I mean, there's some
dirty
dirty stuff regarding.
I
mean, there's some dirty stuff regarding Golden Boy.
Yeah, no,
there were some racist. There were some racist emails exchanging between Al Heyman's lawyer group, which I could bring up next time, with Golden Boy Promotions, which was nasty.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, Chris. That's a good point. And yeah,
that's why I don't have respect for Golden Boy for that.
I mean, because Golden Boy, they go for their target audience, and obviously in the Latino audience, that's who pays the most money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I didn't think about that. About the Wilder,
He let him go. It's not. I mean, that's his fault. But regarding the whole Terrence Crawford conversation, I know it's hard. That's why, it's all subjective to your own opinion, right? You go to.
I'm basing it on the facts.
Ring Magazine. Okay.
I mean,
then you write.
You're saying Gio's saying with this. Okay, go.
Go write an editorial piece and ask him, why do you have Terrence Crawford as number 2?
Shit, I should.
Yeah, you should.
I should, because they're not gonna have an answer, just like you. You're not gonna have an answer.
Don't complain to me then. Go complain to Ring Magazine.
He's like, who are you beating that you're all of a sudden becoming number 2 pound for pound?
Go talk to them.
I don't understand.
Go talk to them.
I think it's the manner in which Crawford has defeated all his opponents. It's been pretty dominant. Canelo, I know when you when you fight top opposition, it's gonna be close.
Has Canelo done that too?
Not with Triple G, not with Lara.
Well, that's a top pound for pound guy.
Yeah.
Let's see Crawford do that against a top pound for pound.
Yeah,
guy.
we will see it,
because he's doing that to fucking guys I can't even name.
It's gonna happen. That's the thing.
All right, then when it happens, then I'll put him up there. But
I have a question.
Until then,
how can it happen, Chris? When Showtime has all those welterweights, how can it happen?
So I mean, the fact that boxing is gonna be in the mainstream in 2019, right? So, and that was a good question, because I was actually looking at Top Rank stable at welterweights. Can't find one anymore, and that's why Bob was talking this past week. But you see where I'm going with this?
You have to work together. Yeah,
you gotta start working together, because what happens? Then Terrence Crawford complains. Probably might launch the Ali Act.
They want to see
and leave somewhere else. Leave somewhere else. So this guy, Terrence Crawford, will be tested, because Bob Arum is going to get tested.
He's going to be forced to work with.
And what happened? Pacquiao was dodging Terrence Crawford. And it wasn't just Manny Pacquiao. Even Freddie Roach was dodging Terrence Crawford. I mean, people dodge. I remember when Miguel Cotto was going to fight Daniel, what was his name? Daniel Gil. And I'm like, I was so pissed off when that was going on after he defeated Sergio Martinez. Like, you go on and to face somebody that Triple G already fought. And in the interview, Miguel Cotto saying, what the people have to realize is that who is Triple G? Really, dude? He just defeated the fighter that you just fought, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So boxers will always find a way to not navigate the route that we all want them to do. Watch fight the fighter that's fighting the fight at the top class right now. Even if you're the A side. Because you sound like the B side.
That's true.
Well, Canelo's done that throughout his whole career, so he should get credit for that.
Yeah, I'm never gonna discredit like what he has done or anything like that.
You put Terrence Crawford ahead of him on the pound for pound list, dude.
And not just me too.
That's
Ring
disrespectful,
Magazine.
man.
I'm pretty sure. Let me put this up right now.
Well, those pound for pound lists never make sense, dude. Never.
Because it's
ESPN is the worst.
Well, I'm about to look up
That shit
ESPN
is
right now.
Garbage.
I'm
man.
glad you brought that.
Those shits are garbage.
About to put that.
The thing
And you
is,
gotta
like,
understand, these guys are
No.
media members. Like, they all have their agendas. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
See,
look
with-
at this. Guess who they have number 2? Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, you said it last week.
No, I said Ring Magazine.
Yeah, you said it last week.
No,
You said it last week.
I said Ring Magazine has Terrence Crawford number 2, right?
Mhm.
Now I'm telling you that ESPN has Terrence Crawford
okay.
number 2.
He's
I-
not even the number one at his division. I don't understand how he's.
Wait, you said Ring Magazine has Crawford number 2,
Yes.
and Ring Magazine is owned by Golden Boy.
Yeah.
So their own people are
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
to me.
You guys gotta stop watching ESPN and reading these fucking magazines.
To
But
me,
I'm not even reading it. I'm just watching and I'm observing.
Mm-hmm. Now, to me, just the win over Triple G, which I do out Triple G fan, but I do admit that Canelo won that second fight.
Yeah.
That's where I moved him up. That's why I did move him up.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
I mean,
Because
just
the wins over Lara, over Austin Trout, over Cotto, those meant nothing to you.
on paper he won. To me, what? On paper he beat Lara. To me, I don't. Think
All right,
he beat
see you
Lara.
guys next week.
No.
Right? It's
Yeah.
just subjective. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
for real. I got you with Lara too.
Yeah.
I agree with Lara. That I saw something.
Then Floyd should have not been number one pound for pound for all those years. He
I'll
lost
take
to
it-
Castillo the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually thought that Maidana, the first fight, was pretty close
Yeah,
too.
it was close.
I think Maidana, if he would
Even
have,
the one against Oscar was close.
Yeah. But to put it in context,
Mhm.
this deal regarding Canelo it's huge, not just for
I'm
Golden Boy
I'm
Promotions
so glad this shit happened,
it's
dude.
massive.
and Canelo.
You can't say shit about him now.
I'm not saying nothing bad about Canelo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I just told you, like
And the thing is,
he has he has big names. I brought this up last week, dude. Maybe you have to go listen to the
but
podcast.
you're still
again.
ranking Terrence Crawford ahead of him. With all this shit said,
But I'm saying, like,
a
Guys,
guy with zero
Gio-
names.
Gio's gonna be screaming at Chris on the ride home.
I don't
know
want to
that's
watch the
gonna
Laker
happen.
game with you.
yeah,
Fuck you.
for real, dude.
Like during the Laker game break. How?
And
How
I-
can you rank him?
And I knew this was gonna happen, dude. That's why I was like, you know what? Save it to the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
But regarding Canelo, it's huge for boxing in general,
Mhm.
for Golden Boy, and it's cool too because I was actually reading on the deal that the DAZN is gonna have all the library of Golden Boy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
Damn.
like
bring that up.
all like it says right here, 7,000 hours.
Dude,
Shit,
imagine seeing the Tito Trinidad Oscar De La Hoya fight on
Hey,
a DAZN app.
If I'm late next
HD?
week, you know why.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that's pretty sweet because we didn't have that with HBO.
Mm-mm.
You know?
And they had a library too, so I'm just like, man, they're doing it right. DAZN's doing it right.
Yeah, the zone's doing it right. So what this means regarding this partnership between Canelo and the Zone is that it's not just Canelo. It's all Golden Boy promotional fighters
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
are also moving to the Zone.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're gonna stack.
So
their
we're talking
card.
about
Linares.
Lemieux, Linares,
Ryan Garcia. It's gonna be good
Ryan
for him
Garcia.
to get exposure.
Mungai,
Mm-hmm.
Jojo, even though I don't like him. And so there's going to be a lot of fighters. So for Golden Boy, it helps him
Yeah.
because you don't have to make business with somebody else. Meaning you don't have to make business with Bob Arum. You don't have to make business with Al Heyman until you run out of business with Eddie Hearn.
Mm-hmm.
Because you already know that Eddie Hearn's going to bring his fighters into the equation. So now you're going to be seeing some fighters. For instance, you might see David Lemieux versus Andrade.
Yeah.
Right? Or you might see Andrade versus Canelo and May
Mm-hmm.
to unify.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be seeing a lot of fighters like that. And I think what I should be doing, I should have like a big, and I should write have a board of all the boxers, of all the promoters, and just make sense of this. Yeah. Like when somebody's talking, because a lot of boxers talk a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of boxers talk a lot, and we all understand, like, there's a difference between watching and casual. So a casual fan is just watching during May, September. But if you're watching, you understand, like, that person is talking because he knows he can't fight that fighter because he's on the other network and this and that. Exactly. So this is all cool, though, regarding Canelo signing. I was happy for him because this puts boxing in a huge perspective for the world to understand that that only boxing can have figures like this, right? Like no other sport can bring up this number. And it's a sport that a lot of people talk about that's dying, right? Even after Manny Pacquiao Mayweather was done after the fight, people were claiming that is boxing dead, this and that. I'm like,
there's not a lot of talk, not a lot of hype.
Yeah. And that's why last week when you guys were saying MMA was competing, I was trying to shut that shit down because it's non-existent.
I mean, it's there and it's making money.
They're two different sports. They're so different.
Yeah, but on the limelight,
it's like comparing hockey to soccer. Like,
but it's there. It's good competition. For instance, look, I'm not sure if you knew this. So when McGregor and Khabib fought this recently, guess how much McGregor made from the purse bid from the fight? Like, meaning Dana White gave this much amount of money on his contract to McGregor for that fight. Guess how much money he gave?
I'm gonna say
$5 million.
Couple million.
Yeah, a couple million. Yeah, McGregor got $3 million, and Khabib got $2 million.
Chump change.
But they also got promotional sponsors, which add up to like 30, 40 for the fighters.
Pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah.
Fucking AB's making that much.
Yeah.
You know, but I already forgot what I was gonna say.
But
I was gonna say you guys are gonna be more pissed at Canelo now because from now on he's gonna fight nobodies according to you guys because there's no more big names. The only big name really is Triple G and that's it. So I think his next 11 fights are gonna be pretty chill for him and he's gonna make a shitload of money. So
a lot of voluntary type fights. I mean,
there's no more names out there.
No, I mean, he could fight Andrade. He can fight
who?
Boo Boo Andrade.
Who?
Boo Boo.
Who?
He could fight Billy Joe after he gets done with his, legal troubles.
So Andrade, Billy Joe,
C-class fighters, in other words.
Lemieux,
and then you also have this guy Rocky Fielding. So that's 4 out of the 11 fighters.
And there's an actual title holder, actual recognized champion with Caleb Smith at 168.
Caleb Smith, and depending if and we're gonna talk about this towards the end regarding the DAZN and ESPN Plus later on. But you can already see like we're saying names right there, and like where's Triple G fitting in the trilogy in that fight?
And that's the thing, dude. Canelo signs this $365 million deal, and he already went through the toughest part of his career.
Yeah.
Triple G was the toughest name in his career, and from now on, that's it. That's as hard as it's going to get, and he's going to make over $100 million every year.
So are you going to lose Canelo's respect then? If he fights non-quality fighters then?
He already put in the work. He earned his stripes.
At 28.
That's amazing, huh?
I mean, his toughest fights are going to come down the road when
Mayweather
he hits
couldn't do that shit.
When he hits his 30s and when
Mayweather got like a $250 million deal with CBS.
I'm telling you, sometimes I'm way ahead of the game, dude. So I brought this up on the first podcast regarding, you have to understand, Triple G is fighting fighters at 36 years old, fighting against top elite fighters like Canelo, Jacobs, Lemieux, fighters that are 5 to 6 years old. And I mentioned, we're not going to be able to judge Canelo until he's 35 and 36. Then we'll see what type of fighter he is.
Yeah.
So why are you judging him at that age? Why don't you judge him at 23, 24 also? Because who was Triple G fighting at 22 or 23?
Who was Canelo fighting when he was 22?
He fought Mayweather at 23. Who did he fight before that? Shane Mosley, I think.
I think Mosley was after.
After? All right, but he was still pretty young. Who else did he fight? You want me to pull it up?
When it comes to Triple G, and I mentioned this too. Yes, like I said, it's hard to promote a fighter that's African American in the United States. This is why Tom Leffler.
And also, I'll let you finish, but Canelo already has 50 wins. Triple G has how many?
You gotta understand.
So you can't compare.
Compare what?
Canelo at what, 37, with Triple G at 37.
Well, we don't know, because first of all,
Canelo's gonna be an old 37.
But
Triple
you
G is a young 37.
but you said that he's gonna go cakewalk all the way to leading up 36, 37.
Yeah, at the end of this deal, he's gonna be 32.
And so
he did say he was gonna stop fighting at 35, or that was in his plans.
it is hard to promote a European boxer, let alone somebody that's kind of even similar to being Russian. In this case, Triple G. And Triple G, was a gold medalist. How many amateur wins he had before he went into the profession of boxing? A lot of them, dude.
Load, yeah.
300
plus.
So I mean, I'm telling you, it's easier to promote a fighter that's Mexican, Puerto Rico, compared to somebody that's, let alone by the country name of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, but I'm talking about skills here. Canelo's even in skills, he's on a league of his own. You can't even compare it to anybody else. Maybe just Lomachenko, and that's it.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is that regarding Triple G had to fight his way up to get to this point.
Canelo did too.
Canelo had it easy because because he's Mexican.
No,
he's Mexican. It's
he had
easy
it easy
because he's Mexican.
I'm gonna pull up his
he had less roadblocks.
resume. I'll pull up his resume.
Just in general, Gio, do you sometimes believe that some people are privileged in life?
Yes.
All right. Canelo's privileged because he's Mexican.
Yeah.
And
he's skilled.
Yes, but I'm just saying, but Triple G.
If he wasn't skilled, he wouldn't be here.
Okay, this is all right. Give me some time.
No,
This is why I love Triple G. All right. And I mentioned this to one of my friends, probably last year, before the Canelo fight, the first one. I said Triple G represents all of us right here. He's like that middle class worker, the low skill worker, fighting to make ends meet, right? And as soon as you get that top spot, you get screwed. Like, you work your way up, climbing that ladder. You play by the rules, and then in the end, something bad happens to you. Same thing with Triple G. He fought his way up, going to the Olympics, getting that gold medal, coming from Kazakhstan, not learning English, which, by the way, Canelo needs to learn how to speak English. And Triple G, knows
Doesn't have to.
how to, because he's Mexican.
He can do whatever he wants.
Because he can market himself
He's a rich
easy. And Triple G, has done all of that, fought his way up. And at the end of the day, what happened in the end? He got
a big-ass paycheck. That's what he got.
He got that 118 one-tail scorecard.
That was a disgrace.
By Bird. And then what happens in May? They strip him of his belt. Didn't even give him a voluntary defense at all. Let alone, they let Miguel Cotto fight Digel instead of Triple G. That's why they let Triple G. The guy did his thing, And that's why I give so much respect for Triple G, because he was not privileged. He fought it his own way. Frank Sinatra my way, dude.
All right, so Canelo fought mostly at 22. That was before Mayweather. Before that, he was fighting Matthew Haddon, Ryan Rhodes, Alfonso Gomez, Carmen Cintron. Then he fought Shane Mosley. Then he fought Josito Lopez. Then he fought Austin Trout. And then he got that big fight against Mayweather.
I think
by 23.
Yeah, the thing is, it'll be disappointing if what you said was true, that he's gonna cruise these next few years.
Well, there's nobody he can fight, dude. There's nobody that can really challenge him.
But there's fighters that can fight him, that will be worthy of at least fighting. Heck, if and
the Lemieux fight is not easy.
Yeah, and I know as
Lemieux.
Look, I read. Hold up. I know what's his reaction. He's, as soon as I say this, he's gonna bring somebody into the equation. How come he didn't fight that guy? Watch this. So we don't know Canelo's weight class, right?
157.
157, but he's gonna go at 168, right? Heck, dude.
Versatile.
How much? I think Canelo could do 170 or 175. I think
crazy?
So.
He's 5'8". He's not a fucking wrestler.
This guy, he's already gonna be at 168.
He's already reaching right now.
He's already at 168. I mean, imagine if maybe a guy comes out of retirement and goes back to 168.
Oh, I don't think he does, but you're talking about SOG? Oh, dang.
I don't think he can make 168.
SOG?
At the right price?
At the right price, he can.
Yeah.
And
it'll be interesting to see if Andre Ward looks at that.
That's a great barometer. If
Can you imagine that?
that's
dude?
a fantasy fight, but
It is fantasy
that would
fight.
be a great
That's like saying
barometer.
Pacquiao could fight fucking Triple G, dude.
I'm
The
just
fuck
saying.
out of here.
I know. I mean,
There's
if
like
he's,
a what?
if he's going up to
There's like a
168,
5,
he's
six-
saying-
I'm just saying, Gio. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
see, you guys, that's what I hate about you two. You guys do not keep the same fucking energy, dude. You start creating these fantasies. So Andre Ward's like what, 5-6 inches taller than Canelo?
It's like,
He's
what,
probably
6
walking
months?
around at like 30 pounds heavier than Canelo, normal weight. But you want him to
I'm
potentially.
just saying. I'm just
He
saying.
just said it.
dude. I'm just saying.
It's a hypothetical.
It's just like you're there at 168.
If you're at that
My
168, you're
goodness.
pretty
We don't
much
know-
saying
we
you
don't
can
know
take
your
on
weight.
anybody.
See,
Yeah.
and that's why I give him credit, dude, because everybody fights at like 2 weights under their normal weight. And that's one thing that we said about the weights, how we can fix boxing. These dudes should be fighting at their fucking weight and not draining themselves before the fight to make the weight, dude. Like, what is Errol Spence doing at 147? Are you fucking kidding me?
He has to talk to Al Heyman where he
Yeah.
wants him.
What is Sean Porter doing at 147? Dude, this fool started his career at 160.
Mhm.
Yeah. He
That
has,
shit's crazy, dude.
he has to talk to Al
And
Heyman.
that's why I give Canelo credit, because he's actually willing to go up in weight. How heavy do you think Fielding's going to be on fight night?
Oh, it's gonna be heavy. That guy's tall.
Look,
How heavy do you think Chavez Jr. was on fight night?
Too heavy.
when you list the names, right? When Gio lists the names, they're all impressive, right?
No, yeah.
But I said this last week. At what context? Right? And I brought up the list. Miguel Cotto, from what I recall, it was at 153. What weight class is that? When it comes to Chavez Jr., 164. Hey, dude, what weight class is that?
Mhm.
You know, we're at the catch weight era. And but I'm not knocking down Canelo. I'm proud for him, honestly, because it helps the sport of boxing. And we'll see what happens. And I'll bring up Triple G later on. But yeah, I Canelo, like, he fought really great
Yeah.
against Triple G
Did.
for both fights.
Mhm.
One, he went at the best 160 fighter, and he stayed there. He didn't get knocked down at all. And the second one, he improved. He literally improved. That's
See,
why I had it a draw.
The thing is with Triple G, he never took, and I'm a big Triple G fan too,
Mhm.
but he never took a fight that was high risk, low reward.
Okay.
Because he could have done it with Andre Ward, right?
All right. I'm
Sure.
glad you
Oh, yeah.
mentioned him.
Yeah, because
I'm
I
glad.
just because you said I would.
Yep. Yep. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Because Canelo, he had two early on, from what I remember. He had Edislani Lara and Awesome Trout.
So you're telling me right now that Triple G could have fought Andre Ward, right, during that time?
No, I don't think so. I thought Andre Ward was always too big, but you know, stupid people like to
But
talk about these stupid fights. Pacquiao can fight Triple G. Triple G can fight Andre Ward. Like,
well, I
fuck
mean,
outta here.
that's the thing. Like,
Even Mayweather, he can't fight Triple G.
that's the thing. Like, a lot of people talk about that Triple G was ducking Andre Ward,
Mhm.
He's 2 weight classes above him.
and that's because Triple G was at 160 and Andre Ward was at 168.
168. Yeah.
And one thing I have a problem with that conversation is that if you go back to when that conversation was taking place, dude, that was when Andre Ward was not boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, that was when Andre Ward was in a big settlement dispute at the courts. Because remember, he had issues with his promoter?
Yeah.
Dude, how can you fight a boxing fighter, just not even Triple G, how can you fight when you're settling the dispute in court with your own promoter?
Mm-hmm.
So that allows you to talk as much as you want. And I'm not trying to knock off Andre. I love Andre Ward,
Yeah.
dude. I love him. But I just kind
I
of find
don't.
that like weird. Like,
I like Andre.
I like Andre Ward. That's why I had him beat Kovalev in that first fight. You guys were questioning my scorecard, and I had it right.
He didn't beat Kovalev.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm. That was pretty close.
didn't beat
fight.
I called
Kovalev.
it right. Called it
Very
right.
close fight.
And
So you think he beat Kovalev?
who?
Andre Ward?
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it was a close fight?
Yep.
You think it could have gone Kovalev's way?
Yeah. That's why
Were you mad at the scorecard?
No, because I got it right. I
But
predicted
you're mad at Canelo beating Triple G.
I
I had
had-
a close fight. They could have both gone either
I'm
way.
not mad at Canelo beating Triple G. I had it as a draw, and it should have been a draw. In fact, I had you see the text messages. I haven't even deleted those messages. I said I had, I think like Triple G up by 1 point, leading up to the 12th round, and Canelo, falling away to draw. But I guess he was winning. But I mean, I already knew this was gonna happen. This Canelo news and stuff like that. Like how we're gonna have this discussion. It's up. It's been how much time have we spent on this?
50 minutes?
Are you kidding me? Damn.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got Crawford out the way.
No, but we could. The crazy thing is, we could literally still talk about this
Yeah.
Canelo.
Because this is a massive.
It is
deal.
massive. That's where the respect comes from, right
Yeah.
there. Does
Yeah.
like
So
this
please-
much time, like for Canelo?
Yeah.
I could have said, let's go to the next subject. Gotta watch the Laker game. No, like, no.
You still want to talk about AB or no? He's fighting Pacquiao, right?
Yeah,
They
Chris,
just broke the news?
They
Yeah,
just-
They just broke the news, right?
So no, I think so. Now that you have the zone acquiring Canelo,
No.
so I was talking about how Triple G should wait and see what Canelo does, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So this week you have both networks, the Zone and ESPN Plus, competing, and so it's interesting to watch both, just because ESPN Plus is going to have Murata. He's one of the fighters that has the 160 belts at middleweight. So, like, if I'm thinking like Tom Loeffler, definitely sign with ESPN for this one fight.
Mhm.
And because I mean, there's talks that if the fight does happen against Murata, he'll fight in Japan.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That would be big.
yeah. Man, my ass these days has salary, and I would love to go to Japan to watch that fight. That'll be a sick fight to watch, just the whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I think Triple G needs that. Like I said, he needs to claim what was his, and that's those belts at 160. So if he could claim that at 160, that belt, he's able to leverage that when it comes to terms when he starts to negotiate against Canelo for that May or I'm mentally prepared that this Triple G and Canelo fight is gonna happen next September.
And in a way, guys, like
Do you guys want that fight to happen?
which one? Triple G Canelo 3?
I'll say this: the fact that if Triple G does go on to fight in ESPN, it'll put the boxing mainstream on notice. Like, oh, hey, yeah. Triple G put on a great performance, this and that, blah blah blah. Now will he be able to do this against Canelo? Then the pressure is on the public to continue the momentum, and where boxing goes is where fans want to put the pressure on Canelo to fight Triple G. So do we want to fight?
And I think the pressure is going to be there, especially the people subscribing to DAZN, because they're going to want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting what happens. So
But is that really a good fight? Honestly,
Which one?
Triple G at 38 years old against Canelo.
I mean,
I want to see what he does in his next fight. We'll see how much he has aged.
Definitely.
I would like to see him. I think Triple
Because
G's,
I don't want to see him go out like,
I know.
you know.
Like Martinez, I know.
Yeah.
I know we don't, but in Triple G we trust.
Yeah. So how early do you guys think that Triple G signs to
So Tom Loeffler has already said that he's going to be at the fight for Murata for this Saturday. So he's going to be there. He's going to be scouting. So I think probably I estimate probably sometime like in mid-November or early November. That's when he'll probably sign. And I could project the fight probably happening like around February. February.
Yeah, that leaves May and September.
Yeah.
See if he signs with DAZN. It seems like he's gonna sign with DAZN. I don't see him.
Triple G?
Yeah, I don't see him not signing with them because that's
Yeah.
last pretty
I see
money fight.
Triple G going to ESPN Plus to knock on wood for that title, escape that, and go to the zone and fight whoever is taking, but in that network. But hopefully it'll be Triple G in September. So that's that. So you have Demetrius Andrade fighting in the zone this Saturday, and then you have Murata fighting on ESPN Plus on Saturday. So this is the beginning of the wars between not Showtime and HBO, but the new players.
Yeah, the streamers. Yeah, a name that I heard a lot coming out of Hearn's mouth was the Charlo, and remember that he's been very adamant about getting the Charlos with him.
Yeah.
And what was the mandatory that I believe the WBC ordered? They ordered Charlo versus
Canelo.
Oh.
Well, yeah. First it was Canelo, and then Triple G.
Now Triple G as an eliminator. So I see DAZN being very aggressive and going after, Triple G and Charlo to make that happen.
They should make it happen.
It'll be interesting because
because after that you won't hear about the Charlos again.
I think a lot of boxers with this Canelo news. So if I'm a boxer, I'm jealous.
Because remember we talked about how much budget did they have? 1 billion.
Yeah.
We didn't know exactly what was the amount, but at least we know now.
This proves it. They do have some sort of billion.
But that's what I'm saying. This puts everything into perspective. His deal, because it's a massive deal. Nobody could get a deal like him.
Yeah.
And all these fuckers calling him out, trying to talk shit. Put in work, man. Maybe you'll get there one day.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you have a fighter, name your son Al. That's because they have so much loyalty to Al Heyman. When you have a fighter like Adrian Broner who could have signed to Rock Nation for $40 million, no, because you have loyalty to Al Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about how Al Heyman takes care of his fighters. He does.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they don't go fight in other networks, says a lot about how Al Heyman really takes care of those fighters. So at the end of the day, I think the boxers knows that there's money out there, but the guy that got him right there has been loyal, and I think you want to pay your due, because then the whole boxing fraternity will see how unloyal you are.
Yeah. So Chris, I'm gonna ask you a question, a little curveball. Bob Arum 86. I don't see him being there for too long. What happens to Top Rank? Do you see him still promoting until his 90s or?
Nah, maybe. I mean, some people stay in boxing until they die, just when they're in the ring.
But that's the thing. I think the promotional companies are dead, except for Golden Boy. But everybody else, they don't need a promoter. Like Mikey's doing his own thing right now. And going back to Mayweather, that's why I think him too. His promotional company and shit.
Yeah. Nah,
it's not making money. His strip club ain't making money.
You have to understand, the idea of Mayweather Promotions is a hell of an idea.
It's an idea. It's always been. Even when he was fighting. Because Golden Boy was doing all the promoting for him.
No, it's an idea that's great. Because not only are you the fighter, but you keep all the money promotions within your own. Instead of having some other promoter. You do the promotion, and I take a side deal. Now, Mayweather wanted all the money. He's like, well,
not the whole cake.
Why fight for a promoter when I can just have my own promotion? Right?
Yeah, but even then, Golden Boy was getting a cut too. Because if you look at all those fights back then, when his promotional company was new, he wasn't doing promoting. It was Golden Boy. He was basically under Golden Boy's umbrella. Like these rappers, how they get their own little label, but it's really under the bigger label.
Yeah, and then after he left HBO and signed that lucrative deal with Showtime back in 2013, that's when he started doing his own promotion. Yeah. He defused from being a Golden Boy, and that's when he started collecting all the money. All the money.
Yep. But even now, his company ain't shit. And
just
going back to all the thing, Canelo's already surpassing him at 28. He did everything Floyd couldn't do when he was younger. But we'll see if he can catch up, though, Canelo, because he's still got some millions to go, I think.
He does. But I will say this, and we can all agree to this, that Canelo's going to be the first Mexican boxer to be a billionaire. Something that Oscar De La Hoya didn't. So he'll pass by that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna become the first billionaire active boxer.
Yep.
Well, Mayweather is right now.
Is he a billionaire?
Yeah.
I don't think he is, but he's not really active.
The money that he got.
Oh,
combined.
I mean earnings.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Earnings, yeah.
But yeah, dude, Canelo is Mike Tyson reincarnated. He is De La Hoya reincarnated, and he is Mayweather reincarnated. So I feel like we should enjoy his legacy because we're not going to see it again for a while.
We're not.
I don't see, like, for the next 10, 20 years, I don't see a boxer coming out and doing this. And I'm happy because, like I said, every year you're going to see him on top of that Forbes list. And, you know, all the other athletes are going to see it. All the people reading these things are going to see it.
Yeah.
They're going to look at it and say, who's this? Saul Dinero Alvarez? He's a boxer? Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, boxing is coming back to the mainstream in a big way.
But I never wanted boxing to be mainstream, honestly. Because growing up, it was never mainstream like that. It was all pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
The names are just so big that everybody was, like, buying the pay-per-view. But it felt almost like an exclusive thing when you're paying for that pay-per-view and watching a pay-per-view. It was, like, exclusive. You had to buy it to watch it, you know. So that's why I'm still not used to boxing being, like, on ESPN and all these networks. And then now DAZN, dude. It's crazy to think about, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to see what other big move DAZN does. So.
Well, how much time is this so far?
Where we at?
We're at an hour.
So, this past Saturday you had Terrence Crawford versus Benavidez.
We already went over this.
No, yeah, you know.
I don't want to waste time on this, honestly,
But as far as
that fight is irrelevant for welterweight division, don't you think?
True,
It meant nothing.
it meant nothing. But
See, at least Canelo's fighting for a title. That's the thing. When you fight nobodies, at least make it worth something. He's gonna make millions, and he's fighting for a title. He's not gonna fight in his little hometown and fighting this guy I've never heard of. Just accumulating knockouts.
To me, I mean, just getting a knockout, what it means for him moving forward. If he didn't get a knockout, I would have probably not
Don't matter.
have been impressed. Like, bro, it's like the Joshua effect. You have to win, like, in sensational fashion.
yeah,
So, I mean, at least I'm glad that he did that. At least he got, you know, he's making it interesting for what happens next.
yeah. So it'll be interesting what happens with Terrence Crawford. But I am kind of disappointed though the fact that it ended in the 12th round. If you go back to the last podcast, I thought it was gonna end like
He had
in
it
the
early.
sooner.
had it way early, like 5, I think.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
I mean, Benavidez was fighting pretty well up until like 6.
I didn't saw the fight. I
Me
just
neither.
saw the last round, but I noticed that Benavidez was really flat-footed.
Yeah, towards the end.
Yeah, it
Towards
was
the end?
interesting because I saw an interview today of this dude, whatever his name is.
Benavidez
The good one. He's a good one to remember.
for now.
For
He's
now.
funny. He talks like Bam Bam Rios. Like, yeah,
Oh,
that fucker
jeez.
caught me. He was saying that he didn't feel Crawford's power at all. He said that punch just caught him and
They
he
always say
couldn't
that, though.
recover from it.
Man,
And he
Canelo
said
says
he's-
that all the time.
And he said, but I
how
believe
you trust
him.
somebody that gets knocked
No,
out, dude?
but I believe he was saying that he thought he was winning the fight, which was interesting.
Holy
I'm like,
God.
should I even watch this fight?
Oh
'Cause-
my gosh,
God.
dude.
Yeah.
It's a shot to the head.
yeah.
He said he
So I'm
thought-
not impressed by Crawford. In other words,
Dude,
You gonna believe the
Dude.
guy that got knocked out?
what? Gio, repeat what you
I
just
don't
said right
care.
now about Benavidez. What did he say?
what?
That Benavidez thought he was winning.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Bro, I could
He
be
said it.
down.
I
I
thought
could
it
be
was
down on the whole fight. And I'll say I
Dude.
was winning that fight.
Hold up. When somebody says something like that, the only thing I will say is, cocaine is a hell of a
Oh my! Hey, it's wrong, brother, man. No, but you know what that told me though, because I thought
Oh, my
Crawford just
goodness.
ran over him. So the fact that he even said that is like, this guy didn't run over you.
You know, I think I'm not sure. I gotta watch the fight. I was in San Francisco, so my friend didn't have. He doesn't have cable.
Are you all recovered from your marathon?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
No more blisters.
My foot don't look good at all.
Yeah.
They don't look
Yeah.
good. But I'm there. I'm going to the gym. You know what's the hardest thing about going to the gym?
Going.
The next day.
The next day. Yeah.
Going the next day. So I started doing this on Monday, and then Tuesday, then yesterday, chill today, and then tomorrow I'll start. But forget about that. Regarding Terrence Crawford,
Again.
no, I'm just disappointed. I expected more. So you have your free piñata to hit on Terrence Crawford on this one bout, and we'll be
Just one bout.
this one bout right now. because
Oh
no,
my
because what's no,
goodness.
because what's next? I think the most important fight is always going to be the next one, right?
Yeah.
But this one says a lot because who are you going to fight now?
Yeah.
That's
And
I'm,
you see,
I'm
like,
really interested.
I'm
in
with that
dude.
with all these guys who like to talk shit and like to be ranked so high, like with Keith Thurman too. I was fucking, I would trash him because he was talking all this shit, wanted to fight Mayweather, and he had beat nobody, right? But now, to me, he's earned his stripes.
Yeah,
Beat
because
Garcia,
he
he
beat
Porter,
Garcia,
beat Porter.
Guerrero, like
Porter.
that was years ago. Porter,
Yeah.
yeah. Thurman is a good guy.
I mean, he's the man right now.
He was the man at the welterweight after
Yeah.
post.
up until he got. Like,
Even though Manny Pacquiao was there, we were like, nah, dude,
Yeah.
just can you quiet already? You know, like
That's all I'm saying. If you're fighting nobody, don't rank him so high. That's the only problem I have.
keep Thurman.
We'll continue. We'll continue this
I was
next
gonna
week.
say,
Did you guys want to talk about anything else? Do you want
yeah, we
leave Broner for next week? Or
yeah,
you,
we could leave Broner for next week.
Yeah.
but he is fighting Pacquiao, right? Is that
He is
confirmed?
fighting
Yeah,
Pacquiao.
that's confirmed that he's gonna
January.
fight in January, which is
What network do we know?
that's gonna be.
That's like what I'm
It's
interested
gonna
in
be somewhere
nowadays.
Fox or Showtime.
What do you think? You think that's gonna be? It's gonna be on pay-per-view, but will it be the debut of Fox pay-per-view?
That's the question. Yeah, and the question is how high is the pay per view? Because once the zone comes with the Canelo, people start seeing like, oh, we're getting, a lesser price, or like, people are gonna have to bring that price down of the pay per view. I think.
Yeah, because Canelo was pay-per-view,
Yeah,
and now
it's like, why are you
The-
gonna pay for
that
somebody?
clip he said, oh, he wanted. What they all say that? Oh, I wanted my fans to not pay so much for my fights. They all say that shit. But
Yeah.
whatever.
So
He's saying that because he got that deal.
Yeah, of course.
so I
got
guess
my
Because pay-per-views don't matter for him anymore. He's
Yeah.
just like, whatever. I got 365 million. All that doesn't matter.
yeah. So Pacquiao apparently looks like he's gonna fight Adrian Broner in January 12th or the 19th.
Vegas.
likely Vegas, yeah.
China?
will take place in Las Vegas,
All right.
from what I'm reading. But
Wait, what day is it?
The 12th or
the 12th or the 19th
Shit.
of January.
I was
You gonna
hoping
be
to
on
be there that
assignment?
weekend. I was hoping I would, but I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's gonna set the tone. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that? Setting the tone for 2019.
That's gonna be
Pacquiao.
good.
Oh, that's a
Broner?
great
Good
start,
fight.
man.
It's a great start, huh?
It's a, I mean, boxing wise, like as a big boxing fan, you're like, whatever, that's cool, but just the show that it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Broner's gonna be talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna talk about Big Bro.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's gonna be fun, man.
This is yeah. I'm gonna ask you guys: do you think Broner can pull it off or not?
I was thinking about it.
No, he's not gonna pull it off. But I did wanted to talk about Adrian Broner, but I'll save it for next show because I feel like this show should be dedicated to
The deal.
the deal that I've been trying to sponsor for a long time. The Zone
The Zone.
The Zone.
or Danza, and
Remember, the Zone's only been active like almost a month, less than a month.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
yeah. So I am kind of shocked that this guy has so many lives, dude. Reminds me of a cat, Adrian Broner.
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking at his stuff, his information, I'm not even gonna call him Adrian Broner anymore.
Adrian 9 Lives.
Nah, he has actually a middle name.
What's his middle name?
That's how I'm gonna call him now, Jerome. So I'm gonna talk about Jerome next week.
Do you know Floyd Mayweather's middle name?
Oh,
What is it?
I heard it once.
I think it's Joy.
No, I think you're right.
Stop it.
His name is like Floyd Joy Sinclair.
I think you're right.
He was born with that name.
What?
It's a cute name. Don't be mad, Mayweather.
Yeah.
You're still rich. We think.
I think. Alexis said that he's doing window commercials now. What?
Oh yeah, Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
Whatever pays the bills.
I don't know how I feel
I
about
mean, it
that.
must be hard to keep up with that lifestyle. Like I said, I don't think his strip club is making money. I don't think his promotional company's making money. So he's gonna need that Pacquiao fight.
Yeah, so as we kind of end this podcast show, there was some interesting news going on regarding HBO. So HBO, I guess
Going out
they're going to save it out to the 12th round, meaning they're going to go on to fight until December.
Seconds, bro.
December.
Okay.
So they'll be having a broadcasting in December 8th. So this is going to be promoted by Tom Loeffler. So HBO is on the works of a doubleheader. This is all by Dan Rafael, ESPN. This is going to be contender Chocolatito fighting. So that's pretty sick. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
And undisputed women's welterweight world champion Cecilia. She's 34-0, 9 knockouts. The world's #1 female fighter, pound for pound. So both fighters are going to be fighting opponents to be decided. But from the looks of it, there's talks about whether or not the fight's going to be either in Los Angeles or in Las Vegas. So it's pretty sweet that HBO, even though we were projecting it to be dead on this upcoming month, right, the 27th, that's still going to be there.
I might get one last free trial ever for HBO.
Yeah. But
it has to be in Vegas. I feel like it has to.
I don't know, but I would love to go
To Vegas, yeah. For respects.
No, not Las Vegas. I don't like going.
It should
I'm
be in
not,
LA.
I'm not
like
the type of person that wants to go to Las Vegas.
Chocolatitos and Mian, it should be in LA.
If I go to Las Vegas, it's for this reason right here. If it's for HBO's last event, it's gonna be sick. Other than that, I did want to say my final thoughts on what happened with DAZN. I think boxing in general for the year 2019 is going to be a great year. Obviously, for not just like the fact with all these new deals coming in with Fox Sports, Showtime, ESPN Plus, and the makings of a new streaming service like DAZN, but it also puts a lot of athletes on shook notice, like NFL, soccer's, or basketball players, because now you see this fighter like Canelo Alvarez making this amount of money, and it puts them into perspective. Like, maybe I should start doing boxing, you know? And it's funny too, because when you watch people, I was at the gym like probably like it was like 3 weeks ago, and some guy at the gym was talking about movies that gets him pumped up. He was like far off, and I'm like far off, and just listening to him, just laughing what the things he's saying. He's like, yeah, man, one of the movies that I get pumped up is watching Creed. You know, you can watch any other movie. You can watch, name your favorite sports movie, right? It could be Any Given Sunday, or it could be Remember the Titans, right? Or Friday Night Lights, right? But the thing is, it's
Santi.
movies like Rocky, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, movies like Creed, right? That show something about boxing, that also shows something about ourselves, right? When we like go ahead and do training in boxing in general, like it's a tough sport, you know?
And everybody loves to see a fight.
Yeah, and
like, dude, if there's a fight right now outside that window, we were all gonna stop and go see the fight.
Yeah, I remember the days when I was at high school. You know, anytime there was a fight,
everybody would freeze.
Being freeze,
eating your
circle.
little chicken sandwich. You're like, fuck this.
It was not like, no, it was like just
stand there
watching
and watch.
it. You know, just stand there and watch.
I think Max said it best when he said, like, if you're in the field and you see four things, you see a basketball game, a soccer game, you know, someone playing baseball or a fight, which one is everybody gonna stop to go see? The fight.
Yeah. And so right now, boxing in general for the year 2019, there's no way that it's gonna disappoint us at all.
And the thing about boxing is, like, remember last week I said 3 things that MMA doesn't have is like the money, the history, and the Mexican fans.
Yes.
And I think the history is a big part, because boxing is like an all-around thing, dude. When there's a boxing fight, you're gonna see all the press conferences, you're gonna see all the pre-shows, like the 24/7 all access. It's like a big show, dude, leading up to this fight. Like, sometimes those things are even better than the actual fight itself. But that's what like brings in the interest. And us as boxing fans, like, we love that shit, dude.
And I know people want this to happen, but just sit back and relax. But you don't need a fight night EA Sports Championship game for you to invest yourself in playing a sport or watching a sport. Because everybody loves watching fight night. But nah, save the remote control and watch boxing in general. Because right now, like, it's roller coaster right now. It's barely moving up. And once it goes down, hopefully it goes down when we see Triple G Canelo trilogy. Hopefully it goes down when we see Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua later on next year.
Yeah, dude, and just think about it. Like, just think about how many casuals this deal can like bring in, dude.
Yes.
Because you can get a free trial, right, Chris?
Yes.
You know about this.
Free trial.
You get a
First
free
month's
trial and watch these fights, dude. It's that easy. It's like doing Netflix.
Yeah.
Because think about it, the pay-per-view, like, people that could afford it were the only ones that were buying it, and that would be like, be,
you know,
in the 1.2s.
Every time I would ask somebody who's not a big boxing fan, like this Triple G fight against Canelo, be like, hey, are you gonna watch the fight? Just interested. You know, I'm curious. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta find like a friend who's gonna watch it or something. You know, like it was kind of difficult to see a fight. Even if you go to a bar, they're gonna charge you like $20 to get in. You know,
Damn.
That's the thing. Like, we used to only watch boxing when the fight happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have this opportunity to podcast and to do ringside commentating, right? But dude,
November 3rd, we'll be there.
the boxing, like the past like 3 months, has been like on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So much news going on.
Mm-hmm.
We after the end of the show, we're gonna be talking about what are we gonna talk about next Thursday. Like, do you think we're gonna have enough to talk about? Yeah, something's gonna happen.
Like we saw this podcast at the right time when everything
it's just
rolling.
literally it's just rolling.
And that's because I think like certain fighters are emerging. Like Wilder's fighting Tyson. You know, Joshua's making a name for himself. You know, the Canelo Triple G fight introduced a lot of people to Triple G. Unfortunately, right?
It's fine.
And like this at his age, you know, and like Mayweather's trying to do a comeback, and Pacquiao, and then Lomachenko's emerging as a star. You know, I think it's picking it up a little bit, but guys like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence have to follow that up, man.
Yeah, they'll eventually follow it up, but again, I'm saying that boxing, it's finally being introduced for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say everybody, I'm not talking about you paying $60, right? Or $15 like HBO and Showtime. I'm talking about paying just your data, just for a free month to watch Canelo, possibility in December for free. Like, who in their right mind will have Canelo for free?
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, even if you don't have Wi-Fi or internet, you can go to McDonald's, Starbucks, free trial, bang, watch the fight.
Yeah. So that's why I want to bring this up. Yes, we have this scorecard being updated for December for HBO, but even though HBO is going to be 6 feet under, like, something else is rising, and that's the DAZN. And it's not just the DAZN taking over HBO, but you also have ESPN Plus and all these other networks. So sucks the HBO is going to leave us, but at the same time too, like, you have to have like a little smirk for the year 2019.
It's moving on to
Just
digital.
feels like less roadblocks, you know, to actually watch a good fight. I'm excited.
Yeah.
You excited?
I'm excited.
Start the bell.
Like you said, this guy said he was watching the fight while getting his oil changed.
Yeah. You're going to start seeing people like going out, you know, to the club. They're going to be on their phones just watching the fight. It's going to be the norm.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing a lot of people watching boxing.
I wish I could have it back then, because I remember I missed a lot of good fights. I think I missed the Mayweather against Shea Mosley. I remember missing that one. I missed like Canelo against Trout.
You were talking about a couple of minutes ago about, enjoy Canelo right now. Remember? Dude, enjoy this time right now of boxing, because it's never been like this in a long time.
It's different.
Now it's different.
It's a new era, man.
Like,
but just in general,
you really
dude.
feel the energy. You really feel like what's going on right now in boxing.
Yeah, but that's in general. I think nobody really like pays for cable anymore, satellite, or these subscriptions. Everything's on the app now, on a phone.
Yeah, it's all about accessibility.
Yeah.
That's what I told you guys, quit your weekend jobs.
That's how I want to close this podcast for today.
Yep. Next week we'll have a lot to talk about. You mentioned the All-Star Boxing, right? That's November 3rd.
Yeah.
November
Something
3rd
like
at the Quiet Cannon. We'll send the link.
We'll put the link up.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to ESPN Plus. First month is free. I know that's not my company I'm supporting, but it's free if you want to watch Morata fight.
And I think it's,
on
what is it?
Saturday.
Is it $4.99?
It's $5.99, I believe. So that's first month free. But if you want to watch DeAndre, right, on Saturday, then subscribe for free. First month is free. The DAZN.
Yeah, we'll
Or
link you guys
Danza.
up.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's that.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week, same time, same people. Christian Mosqueda, Gio Garcia, Chris Rodriguez. This has been Against the Ropes.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
We out.